Hello, good day. This is Eric once again, and today I'd like to show you on how to make a simple responsive web page. So the requirement, of course, is you need to set the viewport onto the head tag, and as well as, of course, change the property of your width into percentage, and of course, the viewport onto the browser window size would be in one viewport width or viewport height that is equivalent to 1%. And with the use of your media queries, so for this example, you could also set a breakpoint at, for example, 900 pixel here. So that would be the limit. So let us see how to do that in HTML. So we got shortcut command here to make our HTML. So basically this emit abbreviation, exclamation point, and when you press tab, it shows you the basic components of HTML tag. So here I would like to set this as a responsive web page, and let us create a simple form here. So let's have a div tag. Then for this matter, we need an input for our text. So this time it should be text. Then let's put a placeholder that would be name here. Then if you would like to make it as a required field, then just type in here required. Okay, then you need to have for example, your message area would be, let us say that would be your text area. Then let us put a placeholder as well here, and that would be the message. Okay, and just simply like that. Of course, we need to set another div tag here. Okay, so that we could assign a layout for this particular message area. If you would like to set also a button, let's say, let's work onto this one first. Then if you would like to have a button for your, say, send me or send, something like that, let's put another div tag here, and it's an input tag for your button, so that would be a button here. Then we need to have a value, the name of or the label of that button. Let us say send me, something like that. Okay, so we need to save this work and check into our browser. So we got this kind of output. Don't have any layout yet. So in our style.css, I have created that one. Then let us put a layout. Okay, so we need to use the universal selector here, the asterisk, so that we could set all the default property for our HTML. So this time let's make it margin as 0 and the padding of course also 0, and let's have a box sizing to be border box. Then let us put font for it. So for this time let's work on Arial. Okay, so that is our universal selector. It will be set all throughout our HTML. design. And for the body tag, let us put the layout as well. So let us put a background for this matter. Let me put a color background. Let me check on cornflower blue. That will be my background, and of course that background would be sized into as cover. So background size to be my cover, and of course I would like to have a height. So the height would be, let's make it 100 viewport height. So need this one if you're dealing with responsive web page. So we got a body and we got a reversal tag, and let us put some classes here on our text fields. So for this matter, I would like to put a tag for my input. So this time let me type in for this example, let's say input underscore value. So that will be my class name, and within my input tag would be class is equals to just simply input. Okay, in my text area, I could also assign my text area would be a class for my message. So this would be the message class, and in my button I would assign here a class name of, let's say this would be a button class. Okay, so I can set also for me to design the input form. I could set form for this if I wanted to. So to do that, I can have another div tag here for that form, because I would like to distinguish between the body and this form. So let's make it as form for the class. Okay, then that one. So I got a form here, so let's work on designing the form layout. So that's the selector name, form, and of course we need to make it flexible onto the display since we're dealing with responsive. So flexible, you can shrink, you can adjust, and what would be our maximum width for this one, and let us set into, let's say 500 pixel. Then I would like the form to be on top of my margin, which is by default 0. Then I would set into let us say just simply 30 pixel, and I could just adjust later on. And I would like to put a background of my form. So the background would be, let's say just simply white, or I could set in a color, this one, somewhere here as my background. Okay, or something like that. Then let's put a padding. That's the distance between your text and of course the border. Okay, let's make it 30 pixel. and of course margin to the left. Let's put here left to be, let's say, 20%. So I got a form. If I run this one, you could not see the layout being done because I don't have any link into that particular style.css file. So to do that one, put a tag here called link to your relationship to the style sheet. Okay, and where is that style sheet located at? So you need to specify that here. So the name of that file is style.css, and you need to specify that directory, or if you have a folder name, if you placed in your style sheet to a particular folder name and with a subdirectory. But if you placed in this style sheet to where your HTML is located at, then you could try that if works or not. So it's working by clicking the control and click here. It should go to your style sheet. Okay, so let us try if the formatting layout is applied. So as you can see, we have here the layout being executed. Now let's move to another class. We got the form, and this time let's go on to the input values. So for that input values, we need to set from your input values going to your, if you notice onto your message, you could set that as one tag. So here we could create a selector for your input values. Okay, underscore value, this one, and that would be in connection with the formatting to your class message. So I'll make it as one. Okay, then what would be the property? So the property for that is just simply I would make it as the width would be, say, 50%. So the reason why I made this as one, because I want the message width and the input value width to be the same. Okay, then next is I would like to check on to the dimension of my input fields here. My input field would be my name, as well as the input type. So I need to specify the type here, and as well as the text area. Okay, so to do that one, I would get into the input value, and I would like to set also onto that input tag with a class of input, then also with my message class, and on my message class also onto my text area. So to format that one, okay, text area. So what would I want here to happen? I would like to set the background to be as one to be transparent. So that's my intention. And I would like to set a margin for the top and bottom. Top would be, say, 10 pixel, and for the right and left to be 0. And of course, for the border, I could set in the border of uh, its thickness to 1 pixel, and of course the type would be solid, and I would like to have a color of would be, let's say, gray. Or okay, let's try this one. So let's save that one and let us see the layout design. Okay, you can see I got here something like this. Now I could set also my message and the text area if I would like to format my message and text area only to make it the height to be so the message area to be the height to be something like this, because by default it is like this. So I'd like to make it something like this, so I would set in here something like 250 pixel, and I'll put a border so that it will be visible to be I would like to be 1 pixel to be solid, and just simply a white color. Let us save something like that. Okay. How about the Selfie button here? I could change in here though the border and the color if I wanted to. Let us try white as well here and see what happens. So something like that for our text area. Okay, now let's have the button to be formatted as well. Here we have a class called button, and let's put that here and format that layout for that button. So of course I would like to align that text to be at the center for that label. Then I would set in also padding distance between the border to be, let's say, 10 pixel. And of course I would like to set color for that text to be white, or let us say F. So it is also white, and I would set in the width for 100%. Let's try. So as you can see, you got that change. And I would like to, when I hover my mouse, would be pointed to a pointer. So let us see. Alright, now I could set a background for that. Background would be, let's put a green color for that background. Okay, so perhaps the send me button would be I could send that to a color white if I wanted to. Okay. Now let's have another formatting. Let's double check here the name here. Then I could adjust my message area if I wanted to. So the message area would be 250 So that's the height, and I want it to be solid, the border, and the button would be aligned to the center, the text, and the padding would be 10 pixel, and I would like to have a color white, and with the border I need to place in the border. Okay, we got also the input, which is the name here. So we got the input, and to be 50% of the input. Okay, as well as the message area. You got also here the input value of your text, then your class input with your message and text area to be, let's say, transparent. You could set to the margin to 10 pixel as the top and bottom, and 0 for the right and left. For the border I could send into white, and okay, as you can see, the distance between the border and the name is so close. I could set in a padding here to at least 30 pixel, and as well as the margin to the left. Okay, to be let's say 20%, something like that, or let's make it 10%. Okay, the padding, let's adjust the padding to be as you can see, it was adjusted for that one. Let's make it something like 10% only. Okay, now let's move on to the width, by the way. So to the width to be adjustable, so 100%. And what would be the color of my text? Let's just put in white here. Okay, that one. Okay, now get a problem on the button. Let us check onto the form. Onto the form, we got the display to be flexible, then the width to be 500, and the margin on top is just simply 30 pixel with the gray background here. I could change that one to somewhere here if I wanted to, and save that, something like that. Okay, now we have also the padding to be 30% and margin to the left to be 20%. Okay, for that is the form, and for that we got also here the dimension of our I would like to have this one to be wrapped. So here we need to create another wrapper. So div class would be something like wrap, so that I could create a wrapping of this form, actually the whole form. So we got a wrap class here. Let's create a wrap here to be layout as, so the wrap would be, let's put the position to be absolute, Okay, absolute. And for, of course, the top, since we're dealing with the position to be, let's say, 50%, then I would like to set this element to be transformed. So we need the transform here onto the y-axis. So transform, then translate it to the y-axis with the negative 50% value. So we need this one so that the layout would be at least on the 50% of the element. And with that, we need also to get in the width, okay, to be 100%. So there's a width, and padding top bottom is 0, and we need to get in at least 15% to the left and right. So let us see. So something like that. Okay, so still we got a problem on the button here. So we got the wrap being done, and if you notice, if I would move in here, so we don't have any responsive web page here. So let's check on the form. So the form is, we got flexed for the display, the maximum width of let's say 500 pixel, and margin on top would be 30% from here, and the background would be variance of blue, and get a padding of 30 pixel, then margin to the left is around 20%. Now for the message area, so for the message area, you got here height to be 250. So this one, 250. And for the button, so we need to check onto the code of buttons here. So we align that to be center with a padding of 10 pixel, and we need to set in the border, I think, to be we could set a border if we wanted to here. Now I did not put in here, and the color to be white, and the width to be 100%. Okay, now let's save that and see what has happened. Okay, so we get a problem on the button here. So let's check on to the code of button. Okay, we don't have a class being specified onto the button, which is actually button. And the message area, you can adjust the message area to be okay, let us check. Get the wrap here, and for the form, okay, then we have the for the tag, then the div. So for the input value, for the tag, and for the div, and for the form, the wrap is actually absolute 50% for okay, let's adjust the message area. So the message area would be somewhere here. So let's make it we could adjust this to, let's say, 90, that one, or let's say 80. Okay, so something like that. But the button here is if I would want to put the button as well, so the button would be somewhere the same with the message area. I could set in here if I move this one, let us see if they are aligned. So as you can see, they're aligned. But if I would want to just simply in separate div, so this will happen. So to do that one, cut this out and put it at the bottom of your, so that it will become at the bottom. And I could adjust in back our weight to be 100. Okay, something like that. Or let's make it 90. Okay, now how to become responsive. So if you need to adjust, it is not responsive, you click on the inspect. As you can see, when you click here, this button here, and adjust into what particular phone that you're using, as you can see, it is not properly laid out. Or if you notice, my send me and my message is not adjusting or responding well. So to make this responsive, we can have it by using the media queries. So for the media queries, we could set in here, just add in the tag layout for media queries to be at media, that one, and the screen would be at maximum value of your width. Okay, max, thus the width would be let's make it around, say, 500 pixel. And what would happen here? So we could adjust the form. So let's get in the form here. The form would be this one. Let's copy that. And I just want to have the form to be with direction. Okay, so here we could adjust the form on to what direction we want that to happen. Okay, although we don't need this anymore, just simply call in the flex direction of the form if we adjust that. So flex direction to be your vertical position, which is your column. Okay, then how about your message area? So your message area as well as your text area, text area would be adjusted only onto its height. So we could set a media query on its height to be around let's say 70 pixel for that, and into your input values as well. So with this code we could responsibly, or let's make our web page responsive. So in your input area, as well as your message to be the same, and it's being adjusted. Okay, so let us see once again our code to be like something like this. For the form, okay, the background, the padding, the left, and we could have also our input body to be the same, and for the message in text area with this format was joined. Okay, and the button to be like this green button. If I could just put in here white, let us see if this works. White color for the bottom. Okay, white. So let us try adjusting. So as you can see, it moves down already. Okay, so we could add here more inputs if we wanted to. Just copy this one input. Okay, and that would be email, for example. Email, and let's put a placeholder value to be email here, and save that once again. So something like this. Okay, so let's move. So as you can see, it is adjusted. It is now responsive. Okay, so for the button, we could set into the center for the padding, and if we would like to set a border radius, it's up to us. And the pointer, when you click that one or press that one, and the width to be 100%, the padding. Okay, so if we could set in the background if we wanted to be green. So once again, if you notice, when I click inspect here, we could set in the dimension. If you notice, this would becomes responsive, but without assigning this media query here. Let's comment this one and take notice about the output. So this div area of message is not adjusting at the lower part of your input field here. See that? So that will make your web page responsive with use of media query. See that? Okay, so you could make page responsive with this technique here. Okay, so thank you.